Hey, you clicked on my video. Appreciate it. Now be sure to like the video and subscribe to the page. Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Out of My League. I'm Nick Diaz. So there was a book that one of my high school teachers had suggested to the class one time, and it was about pursuing happiness and finding happiness in life. But the first words of that book when we opened it up was, "Suffering in life is inevitable." So a book that's supposed to be about finding happiness, and the first words in the book are, "Suffering is inevitable." But if you have the expectation that life is going to be miserable, then you'll be happy. So Shareef O'Neal, along with Adam Miller, Jalen Coleman, Xavier Pinson, and Brandon Murray have now entered the transfer portal. Now, all except Colbert are saying that they are still considering LSU as a top option to return. Maybe Jalen Coleman is thinking that as well. I don't know. And on top of that, yesterday, we also found that Matt McMahon did get his first commit as LSU coach, a power forward who averaged 15 points per game and 10 rebounds per game. A guy who scored 16 points per game and had 13 rebounds against LSU last season in the PMAC. Jalen Coleman from Northwestern State. Now, I'm not here to shit on Northwestern State, okay? I actually think this is a better pickup than LSU fans may think. I'll explain that a little bit later. But you're losing top players on your team, and probably most of them won't come back. And your first commit under Matt McMahon is a player from Northwestern State. But for some reason, I don't see too many LSU fans panicking about this. Why? Because all of the LSU fans had this expectation. This is going to get really, really bad before it gets better. And there is really nothing we or Matt McMahon currently can do about it. Shareef, I still think, has the best chance to stay at LSU because he's the only one on the roster that came to LSU simply because it was LSU. Everyone else on the roster is here because of Will Wade. Will Wade's gone. They probably will be too. But remember, it will get worse before it gets better. Have that expectation. The expectation for me, though, for next year, just don't be Johnny Jones's last season at LSU where they won only 2 SEC games. Just be Will Wade's first season at LSU. That's it. That's all I ask. Be Will Wade's first season at LSU. They were 18-12 in the regular season. They finished 8-10 in the conference, though they were almost 500 in SEC play. Now, the SEC's tougher now, but they played hard. They had some fun games. They had some fun finishes. They ended the season on a high note, beating Mississippi State. They finished 9th in the SEC, and they were predicted to finish last in the SEC, so they exceeded their expectations. Just give me that season. Give me that season. Give me close to 500 in the conference. Give me 18-13. Give me 17-12. Whatever. Give me that. Coming off of the worst season in LSU basketball history, give me that. Now, I don't think it'll be like Johnny Jones's last year, which some people say, oh, this is going to be the worst season in LSU history next year. No, they're going to win more than 2 SEC games because, look, that Johnny Jones team his last year, that team just quit. Okay, I don't think next year's team is going to have that. They're going to win games, especially in the non-conference against cupcakes. Now, with that being said, with this transfer, Jalen Coleman from Northwestern State, here's his rundown. He's 6'8", 220-pound power forward from Shreveport who averaged a double-double in college last year, 15-10. Now, on the surface, that doesn't seem all that impressive when you consider the level of competition. But averaging a double-double is really hard to do anywhere at any level in basketball. And to prove it to you, in the NCAA Division I men's teams, Coleman, he was only one of 15 players that averaged a double-double in NCAA basketball Division I this season. 1 of 15, and he was in the top 10. Okay, yeah, that's great, but look at his competition, Nick. Fair, but remember when I told you that he was 16-13 against LSU this season in the PMAC? He was being guarded by Tari Eason, Darius Days, and Efton Reed, and he held his own. He also, not just against LSU, but scored in double digits against Baylor, a number 1 seed, Houston, a team that almost made the Final Four, Oklahoma, Power 5 conference. Texas A&M, an SEC team that won 23 games. SMU, another American Conference team. So it's looking that he needs a step up in competition. And another thing that I didn't realize that makes this a little bit more impressive is that Coleman, he's a true sophomore. So it's not like this is some super senior at a small, shitty mid-major league that has an extra year because of COVID and he's 23, 24 years old. No, Coleman is 19 years old, and his measurables are 6'8", 220, averaging a double-double with a 7-foot wingspan. So he's already got what it takes to hold his own in the SEC. But again, we go back to expectations. That doesn't mean this guy is going to be, a diamond in the rough and he's going to be an SEC starter that averages a double-double. No, he may be a starter next year, who knows, but I'm not saying he's going to repeat that production next season. But just know this is a better get than what it seems on paper, and know that these are the types of players LSU and McMahon will have to settle for the next year or so. And you know what? I'm not totally against that. Thanks for listening to Out of My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook in the description link below.